Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like Similo. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be working cooperatively together in two different realms. One is in a fables realm. We're going to be looking at all sorts of different artwork and characters from fairy tales and such that you may be familiar with, but we're also going to be looking at historical figures as well. Today we're going to be taking a look at Similo. This is a cooperative sort of deduction style game. It's quick and easy. It's sort of a party game. It's just about 10 minutes long. Let me show you how these different games work, and I'll see you on the other side. Similo is launching with two different products, one of fables and the other of history. In this cooperative deduction game, one player is going to be the clue giver, and they'll know which one of these characters is the secret one, and they're trying to get everybody else to guess it. These can be played separately, or you can mix them and match, as I'll show soon. So one player is the clue giver. They're going to secretly select randomly one of these 12 cards to be the secret character. Only that clue giver knows it, nobody else does, and there'll be 12 total characters put out. So one of these is a secret. They're trying to get everyone else to guess that. And as you can see in this Fables version, we have like Pinocchio, Little Red Riding Hood, the Cat, Big Bad Wolf, Snow White, Peter Pan, Cinderella, Tinker Bell, the Evil Queen, Mad Hatter, Captain Hook, and the Genie. And there's plenty of other cards in the game as well. You don't use all of them at once. So what's going to happen is the clue giver also gathers 5 cards off the top of the deck. This will be their hand. Now, the clue giver, what they'll do is they're going to give a clue, but they can't talk or make noises or do any type of gestures. They're simply going to place a card down as a clue. Now, if they place it this way, this means something about this card is in sync or is similar to the secret card. If they place it this way, it means that something about this card or this card is different than the secret character. So let's say I gave you this clue. So it is the Little Mermaid. You'd look at this card and you'd try to deduce, well, who out here is the least like whatever this card is about? Because you as a team need to talk about this, and in the first round, you need to basically take one of these cards and remove them. And you could do this in any way. You might look at this and say, oh look, she has freckles and Cinderella has freckles. Maybe she's trying to tell us about that. But then again, so does Peter Pan. So I don't know. Maybe you're just saying, well, it's a girl. Or maybe it's a kid. So maybe we'll get rid of an adult. Or maybe we'll get rid of a male because the secret character is like this, meaning we're trying to remove what's not like this. So everyone's talking, well, Pinocchio's not even a real person, so it can't be this one, right? Maybe we remove this. Or maybe the Genie too. Or maybe this is all bluish, so maybe they're trying to tell us about the Big Bad Wolf. So you don't yet know, but this is one clue, so everyone would talk. So let's say you talked and you're like, you know what, let's get rid of Pinocchio because, this is a real person. So you as a team would remove Pinocchio. If that was a secret character, the clue giver would let you know right away and you'd lose the game immediately. Otherwise, the player refills their hand up to 5 cards from the deck and they will play another clue. So let's say I played Sea Witch, but I played it sideways, meaning the secret character has some things or is dissimilar to this card in some way, shape, or form. And so, the Sea Witch, it's not like the Sea Witch. So let's see, the Sea Witch is blue, it's green, it's bad, it's an animal, it's a witch, things like that. So you'd try to figure it out. So everyone looked at these cards and like, you know what, let's try to get rid of the Big Bad Wolf because sure, it's blue, it might have been this, but so is this bluish green, so maybe it's not a color thing, let's say. You know what, it's not an animal type of thing, so they'll get rid of this. But in the second round, not only do you have to get rid of one, you gotta get rid of another one. So they say, you know what, let's get rid of a cat because that's also an animal. And if I don't say you lose, then we continue on. And let's say for the next clue, I put the giant down sideways, meaning it's dissimilar. So we're trying to get rid of things that are similar to these two and not similar to this. Because again, it's kind of like a reverse psychology where I'm trying to point you to something with this and point you away from something like this, and you're removing cards. So we look at this, we're like, it's not like the giant, it's not like the Sea Witch. Well, you know what, the giant's like an old man, and Captain Hook kind of looks like an old man. We'll remove him, right? And then again, at any time if it's wrong, I immediately say it and you lose. Now we got to get rid of 3 in the third round. So you go, what? You know what? Let's get rid of the Genie. It kind of looks like an old manish here. It's kind of bluish. Let's get rid of the Genie. In the third one, ooh, this is a tough one. Well, this is the oldest looking man. So let's try to get rid of him. Well, we're still alive. So we'll give you another clue. Now, in this round, I have to get you to get rid of 4 cards. And I gave you this clue of Alice. And wow, this is going to be a tough one. So we look at all this. We're like, Okay, so let's see. This was like, and this was like. They're both children. They're both female. So are you going children or are you going female? Since they're both female and you put them up, let's get rid of the only male character left. Let's get rid of Peter Pan. Phew, okay, we made it. Let's bring these cards in a little bit closer so we can look at them. Ooh, let's see. Oh, well, she's really young. Let's get rid of the queen. Oh, we're still alive. We still have to get rid of 2 more. This is going to be a really tough one. Not like this, but are like this. We say, you know what? She's got blonde hair, so does she. She's got red hair. There's red hair and red hair. Let's get rid of Tinkerbell. Oh, we're still alive. So we still have to get rid of 1 more this round. This is a tough one. Oh, gosh. This is a really tough one. Let's just say we got rid of Snow White. And luckily, we're still alive. That was sort of like a 50-50 or 1 of 3 thing. It was kind of a guess at that point. Then I'll give the last clue. So for the last clue, I'm going to put Prince Charming and not like Prince Charming. So we go, oh, what is that all about? Well, you know what? Cinderella was with Prince Charming, so it's not that. So it's probably Little Red Riding Hood. We just got to get rid of 1, and we would have 1. And that's basically how the game works. You either lose right away when you pick the wrong one, or you win as a group, and you can take turns being the different clue giver. And here we have the cards that I did not show you yet in the Fable deck that weren't used this game. We have Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, the Tin Woodman, the Queen of Hearts, the Fox and the Cat, Puss in Boots, Dorothy, Fairy Godmother, Wicked Stepmother, the Huntsman, and I won't try to pronounce that one. Now I'm just going to quickly flip through the different ones from the History deck. Remember, this can be played separately, bought on its own, or mixed with the Fable deck, which I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But I'm going to flip through some of these different cards so you can see. So how do you mix the decks together? Let's say we've got the Fable deck and one of these is secretly it. Now, the clue giver actually, for the deck of cards that they get, the 5 cards in their hand that they secretly have are from the other deck. So you could be having the Fabled as here, and they would use the History as the clues, going like this, or vice versa. All out here would be History, and then you would use the Fabled for the clue, so it's sort of a crossover in that way. All right, as I mentioned in the overview, these were some prototype cards I got back at Gen Con, but it is releasing in Essence, so I wanted to get a video out for you without having the final product. First of all, as you can see, beautiful art, in both sets. I mean, you put those on the table and it just draws you in, especially when you know some of the figures or characters that are on there. It really, it does draw you right into the game. Great artwork there. Now, it is a cooperative deduction game. I love cooperative games. I love deduction games. Now, it's not the same. It's not like the logic and straight deduction. It's more of sort of like an interpretive deductive game where you're talking out the clues together and you're thinking about why do they do this? If they turn this one sideways, that means it's different from this. They wouldn't have done that if it was this. And you're starting to talk through things. I like listening to everyone talk together and work together, and that's always fun. This, in my opinion, is sort of a more family-friendly version of Unusual Suspects, which is it was a very popular game when it came out, but it was quite divisive sometimes if you played it with the wrong groups, because there'd be people just like you saw here, but they're actually humans. They're not characters in fables like this, and it would say like, well, which one's the vegetarian? Which one pays their bills late? And it would cause a lot of specific judgment on people, and it would sometimes get uncomfortable, where this is it uses a very similar game mechanism, but this is much more family friendly. There's no specifics like that. It's just, does this card have something to do with this card or not? And then you decide what it is, and it's just a much more family friendly way to play that style of game. So I really like this, and I really used to love Unusual Suspects, but I did play with groups where it did cause some problems, so I've stopped playing it so much, and now this is sort of going to replace that for me. Now, each round, I like how it all ramps up the difficulty, where every round you have to, decide more cards in the last round to take out, and it keeps the game moving fast as well. I mean, sometimes you could lose in the first round, the game takes 2 minutes, you gotta reset it up. But I like how the game is quick. I like that not all the cards are used each game, so you got a little bit of variety there. It works at wide player grounds. It works with 2 all the way up to a huge group, everyone talking together, so that works well too. And I like that you can play the different sets mix match with each other, as I showed you in the overview. You could play Fables or History or match them together. And that there are two choices. You know, some families might just want to go with just one of them at first and see if they like it, and one of them is going to speak to you more than the other, but you are able to mix and match them, which is even cooler. And I like that it's going to be easily expandable. I know they have more planned for these. It's overall, I like the game. Anything negative about it? Well, you know, if you play the game a lot, even though you don't use all the cards each game, if you play it a lot, you know, you'll need to get another deck to mix and match, I think, to keep the replayability high in the game. But it is an inexpensive game, so you definitely get your money's worth by the time you've played it out. But then again, every time you get a new deck and mix and match those things in there, it's going to, you know, replay is going to be up there. So overall, if you're looking for a quick sort of game that is cooperative, plays with a good amount of people, and just, you know, it's a pleasure to play and quick, and it's a delightful experience, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, and that's Similo. Did you miss the Game Topper 2.0 Kickstarter? Have no fear, it's not too late to get in on the ultimate gaming accessory. Convert your table into a high-quality gaming table with a fully portable Game Topper system and take advantage of some of the best 3mm premium gaming mats in the industry. New styles, new sizes, and new accessories can be yours. Upgrade every game you play by late backing now at GameToppersLLC.com.